back to 5 Acres Honey Farm. I'm Tara Lynn, and I'm at my apiary in western North Carolina, which is just west of Bryson City. And before we jump in the hives, I have two little updates. One, we're just getting back from a weekend in the Red River Gorge of Kentucky, so I'll show you a little bit about our short time there. And I also wanted to mention I have some announcements coming up on my blog, which is I'm approaching the 1-year anniversary of my blog, which is dedicated to nutrient-dense food, permaculture, and beekeeping. So if you don't already subscribe to that blog, I publish a post pretty much every week. There are some times of the year I take a little bit of a break, but you can take a look at that. There's a link in the description. And my other update is that I have honey updates coming out soon. So there's also a link in the description to receive those honey updates. I only send, that's a totally separate list, and I only contact the folks who sign up for those honey updates probably a handful of times a year. It's usually like, I see the honey coming in, I have pulled the honey off the hives, it is bottled and ready for sale, it is gone. So those are pretty much like the only updates you'll get. So it's not like getting your inbox flooded with anything in there. So just to give you some expectations on how often you would hear from me from both of those sources. But I'll show you a little bit about our Kentucky time, and then we'll jump in the hives. This may be hard to believe, but I've never grilled out on a grill before, so that's about to happen. And our little Airbnb has a little grill, so I'm gonna try it out. See what this is all about. I think it was successful. It looks really good. I will turn this around. At least for my first time. It's coming up here. This is the Nada Tunnel in the Red River Gorge. You have to look for headlights, which I think you have to get a little closer to see. We're on our way to Gray's Arch, right there. A little green snake. Hi. Another little friend. And a bigger black one. Hello. We're done with the Red River Gorge, and now we're driving through Great Smoky Mountains National Park, where I love seeing the elk. Queen Winnie. So she is the first queen that I've had to overwinter here in the mountains and survive through the end of winter into spring. I had another queen that survived winter, but it was like a few days after winter was over, she failed to lay. So all of these girls are taking care of her right now. She's laying beautifully, and I just split her hive about 2.5 weeks ago. So that was her spot. What's kind of funny is she started in this spot this time last year, and I split her and moved her there. So she's now returned. This is most likely her last season because she is about 3 years old, I think now. I'd have to check my notes. But you can see how the workers are forming a circle around her. That's called a retinue, and that means her pheromones are very strong. They love her. They want to take care of her. It's all good. So she's got a great pattern, strong retinue, and now I'm going to just seal them back up and take a look at her other home colony. So like I mentioned, I split these hives, or this hive, 2.5 weeks ago, and I'm just looking for a good spot so I could rest the corner over here without hurting any of these ladies. So I had split them, and you can kind of see in here. So these are examples of some queen cells that were terminated. So that means that at least one queen emerged, and she went around and removed the others. So I haven't seen any eggs yet. She should be going on her mating flight pretty much today, tomorrow, the next few days. So she's fairly newly emerged. And I've only seen this really in one of the top boxes, so I'm not really going to go further. I don't want to disturb anybody. Plus, if there are other queen cells that still need to emerge, I don't want to, you know, damage those in case those might be the stronger queens and she might take over instead. So I'm going to close this up, and I had given this hive a box of kind of checkerboarded frames with no foundation, frames with foundation, and drawn comb. So 3 different styles, so just like pairs of 3 throughout the medium, and they haven't touched anything in there. So it's kind of this interesting thing I learned during my first year of beekeeping, and I'm just kind of like, let's just try it out one more time. So what you need to do to get them to be a little bit more active in a new box is to pull up a frame of honey, and then they're suddenly interested in building out that new box. So there is plenty of honey for me to choose from in here, so I'm going to grab a frame of honey, put it in that top box, and then in my next inspection we'll see how much more they've drawn out. But they are, I mean, from what I'm seeing, almost at least in this one box, like at the verge of being honey bound. So they definitely want to draw out that next box so that she'll have some space to lay. However, I don't know what the bottom brood boxes look like. I don't know if they filled those with honey, but again, I don't want to disturb them. So hopefully she has some room down there to lay as well after her mating flights. I'm just hoping that they're successful flights. I just refreshed my swarm trap with some Swarm Commander. It is still vacant, but I wanted to thank you for watching. And again, if you have not subscribed to my blog already, take a little peek in the description and look for some posts there about beekeeping, permaculture, and nutrient-dense food. And also, if you are interested in honey updates from this apiary and also my apiary in Chatham County, please subscribe for those updates, also in the description. And I will share more next time.